guys, welcome to my Ocean One and Then Some channel. I'm just going to do a quick video for you here, and I got three things that I want to talk about. And I want to talk about, well, the first thing I want to talk about is the water pump recall. I don't guess I need these glasses, so I'm not going to be reading anything. If you're not aware, all Fisker Oceans have been recalled for a potential water pump failure. And I reached out to a mechanic that works on the Oceans and asked him if he knew anything about that, and he said yeah, and he said that it was a soldering that was coming apart. And so I don't know much more than that. That's pretty much all that he wrote me. He did say that it seemed to be, kind of intermittent. I don't know how to take that, because we don't really have any data to go by. Is it 1 out of 50? Is it 1 out of 100? Is it 1 out of 1,000? Is it eventually going to fail? I have no idea. But the bigger question becomes is, if you've been following the news, and I'm just talking, okay, I'm not reading from anything. You can research all this, because none of my content constitutes professional advice, and viewers that follow any advice or content do so at their own risk. So, I'm not reading from anything today. This is just more off the cuff, because the third thing I want to talk about kind of got on my nerves. But the water pump issue, if you've been following the news, Fisker is prioritizing fixing the water pumps. They're required to fix the water pumps on all the Oceans that they're going to sell to the fleet. So the question becomes, how do private owners get the water pump issue solved? Do we get it solved? Now, just for kicks, I called Fisker support today. I just want to see if anybody would answer the phone. I don't know if people are still answering the phone or not. It did play the message. If this is an emergency, call Fisker roadside assistance, and we know we don't have roadside assistance anymore. So I had several things that I needed to do, and like clean out the garage. And so I called, and while I cleaned out the garage, I just let the music play, and hey, thanks for calling Fisker. Your call is important to us. Went through all that, and guess how long I was on hold? 30 minutes? Nope. An hour? Nope. Hour and a half? Nope. 2 hours? Nope. 2 hours and 19 minutes. And then all of a sudden it just went beep, 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 click, and the battery didn't die on the phone. It just cut off. I don't know if that was, the limit of the wait, or if something actually happened, or if somebody picked up and I lost connection. I really have no idea. But after 2 hours and 19 minutes, it just cut off. Nope, nobody answered. Nobody said hello or anything like that. So the reason I'm saying that is, is Fisker going to fix the water pumps on the retail, the private people, like us, the Fisker owners? And I wanted to try to get an answer to that. So if any of you have gotten any type of official answer from Fisker, I would love to hear that, because, here we are clearly in bankruptcy, clearly charging toward Chapter 7 while we're in Chapter 11, and nothing about that is good. So I just want to see if I could get an answer from Fisker, where they stood on that. Will we be able to get parts? Will Fisker fix it, before everything's said and done? Personally, I think the judge should mandate that, the private owners get set in a pool and they get fixed along with the fleet sale. But that's not for me to decide. Hopefully the judge will side in our favor on stuff like that, and give us some support. The second thing I want to talk about is, we never got a buyer. We went through all that, speculating who it could be, and then the one that turned out to be the most likely, the name that was actually used was Nissan, and that never happened. So speaking of those two, now Fisker has been in a cash crunch now for months, literally months. And today it comes out, this is the one that really got under my skin. Today it came out that Henriks had reduced his salary to $1. Now that's not to save the company, okay? That is just to prolong the bankruptcy proceedings, if you will, to make it look like they're trying to cut back. This is something that I said should have been done at the very beginning, cutting their salary. Now, originally, Henrik and Gita took the minimum salary allowed by law, and I think that was $56,000, something like that for California. And that would have looked pretty good, had Henrik not sold a bunch of shares at the beginning and bought, what was it? I don't know, $30 mansion, $26 million mansion, whatever it was, that would have looked pretty good had he not done that. But here we are, right at the end for Fisker. We're hanging by a noose, if you will. We're getting hanged here, and he reduces his salary to $1, not to save the company, if you will, but to prolong bankruptcy, if you will. I always thought Henrik was better than that. That really bothered me, that he's doing that now. He should have done that months ago. But it's just such a shame that the Fiskers, helped create such a good product and just never could get their act together and run, a well-run company. And, and I saw the warning signs, but I always felt like, hey, that can be solved, that can be addressed. There's no way they're going to let this company go bankrupt. Because, he's gone bankrupt before. So I would have thought they would have sold their souls to the devil to prevent that. But, here we are, and it is what it is. And so if any of you are wondering, what am I going to do with my Ocean? I'm going to drive the daylights out of it. That's what I do. I drive it, and I drive it, and I drive it. And I hope I don't have a problem. Because if my water pump fails, or anything else fails for that matter, I'm just like the rest of you. I'm at the mercy of finding somebody that knows how to fix it. I can do most things, but when it comes to a computer on wheels like the Ocean, without the right diagnostic tools, without the right parts, it pretty much has to be staring you right in the face what's wrong with it. Cobble something together and make it work. But I don't think most of us can cobble together a water pump and and fix that. So those are the three things that I wanted to bring about. I'm pretty upset right here at the end. With Henrik reducing his salary. And if you don't know, if you've not been following that, he only did that because they got grilled during the court proceedings. And it was asked, how much they were being paid, and was he on the exempt list, because certain people were exempt from getting paid and certain people were not. And, oh my gosh, man, so here we are. That's all I got for you today. There's not really been much Fisker news, to report. And what there has just been, the ongoing bankruptcy proceedings. And there's just not much to report there. The creditors, Heights Capital, those guys, they're cutting each other's throats, trying to get the most out of Fisker. They're not trying to save the company. They're just trying to get the most that they can. And, Henrik and Gita made a deal with the devil when they sold all of the rights. That's another thing that bothers me. I'm sweating. I've been outside. But anyway, that's another thing that bothers me because they could have handled this very differently. Those loans from Heights were never secured loans. But when Gita, our genius CFO, missed the filing, that set off a cascading event to where Heights Capital could indeed make a fortune by diluting the daylights out of us. And, I did videos over this, multiple videos over this, and they did. And really, that set off a chain reaction that Fisker never recovered from. Had that not happened, had we not missed the filing, I don't think Fisker would have ever been in bankruptcy. I think they would have gotten it together, but we just never got the chance after that. Now, I'm not making excuses for Henrik and Gita because they made plenty of mistakes, lots of them. But I felt like everything was solvable until that happened. So I don't feel like I'm rambling here, even though it might seem like I'm rambling. I just had this on my mind and I wanted to get it out there for you guys to understand. So Henrik has reduced his salary to $1, not to save the company, but to prolong bankruptcy. Or make it look good, okay, if you will. We never did get the buyer, and we are in limbo over the water pump issue. If any of you have any information on the water pump issue from an official Fisker source, I would love to hear it. If any of you have gotten them to answer the phone recently, I would love to know about that, because, you know, I was on hold for 2 hours and 19 minutes and nobody ever picked up. All right, guys, thanks a lot. Thanks for joining in, and until next time.